Good evening and welcome to another edition of Gables Tutoring Online. Again, if you have any questions, please submit the questions to the number that appears on your screen. In the meantime, let's go over a couple of questions. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's try question 15. It says line T in the xy plane has a slope of negative 1/3 and passes through the point 9 comma 10. Which equation defines line T? Well, if the slope is negative 1/3, it cannot be this equation because the slope is 13, and it cannot be this equation because the slope is 9. That leaves me with these two choices. Um, so to break the tie, I plug in x and y into, let's say, equation C, choice C. So I have 10 is equal to negative 9 over 3 plus 10. 10 is equal to negative 3 plus 10, which does not make a true statement because obviously 10 is not equal to 7. So that's not the choice, and the answer is D. That's very simple. This one is a little harder, I guess. Let's see. Let's try it. Number 17. For a certain rectangular region, the ratio of its length to its height is 35 to 10. So I can begin with those two numbers, length to height. If the width of the rectangular region increases by 7 units, that means it is now 17. How must the length change to maintain the ratio? Okay, so this is the original situation here, and this is what happens after you modify this width to make it 17. Obviously, x has to increase too, but we simply set up a proportion saying, okay, hold on, let me just do it. Let's begin with 35. So 35 is to 10 as x is to 17. And I can cross multiply and I get 35 times 17 divided by 10 is x. So, so 35 times 7 times 17 divided by 10. So that gives me 59.5. So the new length has to be 59.5 to maintain the ratio. But the question is not what should the next the new length be. The question is how will it change? Well, it went from 35 to 59. That means an increase of, well, let me erase this, write pretty numbers. 59.9 minus 35. It was an increase of 24.5. So that's the answer. Let's try 18. I think we did that one last week. I'm not sure. I don't remember if we did that one last week or not. Let's try not last week. Yeah, last week because we didn't broadcast yesterday. But 22, you have a right triangle. Okay, so they talk about a right triangle. I'm gonna draw a right triangle. And these are the respective lengths of the sides of that triangle. Well, I need to figure how to label the right triangle appropriately. It happens that the square root of 80 is the longest side, so that has to be the hypotenuse. The other two, really, it doesn't really matter how I label them, so I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to go ahead and find the area. Remember, the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. 1/2 times base times height. I can simplify here and I get 6 times root 2 times root 2, which is 6 times 2, and the answer is 12. If there are any questions, again, you can send it to the number that appears online. You can text the questions and I will happily go over them. If there aren't any questions, then that will do it for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time, well, around the same time. Have a good night.